Hi everyone, Fernand Raymond here, James here. We both are from SeekaHost right now. Today, going to talk about the WordPress website maintenance services that SeekaHost offer and why it's really important more than ever. As you guys know, WordPress is one of the most used content management systems in the world. Millions of websites are using, and it's always open up vulnerabilities and things like getting hacking. And so if you're running on a business owner, if you encounter those issues and things like that, how you rectify them, how you get some support, and how you can seek them with SeekaHost, we're going to explain to you. We got the expert in WordPress maintenance and building sites and things like that, James. And so
what's up, guys?
Let's explain, James, what we can help with people and why it's so important to look after their site and having a maintenance services.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, it is one of the most well used is WordPress. And because of that, there is a lot of factors, a lot of things that you got to keep up with. And obviously, if you don't keep up with, that could, again, lead to security threats. So obviously, if you're not sure what to do and if you haven't got time as well, that's where we come in and we can get basically a lot of the hard work done.
Yeah.
It saves you from actually having to research everything, find it out yourself, and then resolve the problem, which can sometimes be the hardest thing, especially if you don't know yourself, so you don't know what you're looking for. Really, that's where you're going to need a bit more expert help to actually, take over and, find what the problem is. Let me just get this up here, do a screen share. All right, there we go. So as Fernando said, we're going to be looking over WordPress maintenance services here with SeekaHost. What do we offer? What can you get with these services as well? And we're going to be starting first with updating your WordPress. We have mentioned this before, especially with our security podcast as well, how you do need to stay maintained. You need to have a good level of updating your themes, plugins, WordPress itself. Which I'll add something in a second actually about WordPress itself updating. However, these things, as silly and simple as they do sound, need to be maintained. You need to have somebody there actively making sure that this happens, just in case there's any security flaws in the last one. They've made an update to patch that. You need to make sure that you're updated as well. And also you're going to be getting the latest features. Of course, when everything updates, it's going to be having slightly better features. They might have added something, and you want to have that on your site as well. Obviously, this is going to save you time updating. Not everybody has the time to check daily what has happened. Not everything can auto update. So you do need someone to do it. Also, things like backing up before major updates. A lot of people might sort of forget as they do that. They do usually give a little warning. Stuff like that has to happen just in case something goes wrong. You can always back up. So updating plugins on WordPress is a big one. And I just want to mention as well, the new WordPress update has just come out, 5.9. I'm not sure if you've seen.
It came out, right?
Really good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's got the functionality has really gone up in what it gives you without even having to use any other plugins as well. So.
Yeah, and the other thing, actually, I want to tell some of the words, like if you're one of the business owners, business websites owners, or else even a blogger, your WordPress, if you're a serious blogger, you're doing very high-end blogging, you have to really take very much consideration into protecting your website, because things like taking the backups, having the plugins up to date. And this is where we come into, if you're a busy person and if you ignore them, if you miss them, you don't want to lose your hard work, all these things with the content and things you've done. If you don't have a backup, if you manually, or if you haven't done it, that's a big disaster at a time, So this is why a WordPress maintenance service can help you, and how it can really pay you off, to protect your site and grow it. And also working with an expert, it helps you to really grow the site with a lot of things, latest updates with the plugins. Like if you didn't know that, that's where we come in.
Absolutely. And that is sometimes one of the problems as well. There's so many different things that you have to factor in. So, that's where we do come in again. We try and check everything all together, and we will be going through all the things, or most of the things that we check. Obviously, we do cover a huge variety of things that we do with our maintenance services. However, this is going to be the sort of top 12 of them. Of course, if you do have any questions, just ask us. You can get. There's a lot of things that we can do basically, but we're going to go on to extra security, malware scanning, and removal as well. Obviously, security comes in many ways. We like to cover all of them ways, anything from login security, firewalls, malware scanning, removal of dangerous files as well, because obviously one thing is that once this has happened, you might need some help to get yourself out of there. And if you don't recognize what the files are, what malicious files could be, it's going to be really hard to solve it really. So again, that's where we come in. We can sort of clear this all up. Once it is cleared up, set you up with some good security to go forward with. And of course, backups, which Fernando just mentioned. I'll be going over a bit more backups in a minute, but backups are super vital. You need to be doing them, or somebody needs to be doing them, and they also need to be in a safe place. So I won't talk more about backups right now because we're going to be moving on to that in just a second. However, security, extremely vital. Obviously, there is ways to just add some general security, but, obviously using SeekaHost, we're going to be doing it to the absolute best level here, which is going to be mitigating a lot of attacks, really. Along with that, website health checks. Obviously, it might not be something that everybody does. Not everybody has the time to do a website health check. Check every component through there. We're going to be checking through the entire site. We're going to be making sure everything's working. And one of the biggest things as well is actually identifying problems. We're going to be identifying problems in order to resolve them. The more resolved problems you have, the smoother your site runs, the better optimized it is, especially with things like conflicting code, too many plugins that are sort of useless on each pages, trying to bring up, again, too much code, which is slowing everything down. So all these things are things that we can look through, check, make sure that we're maintaining actively, or, do it as a one-time thing if that's what you want. And all of this is really going to help you grow. It's going to help your website. It's going to help your business. Right. After that, and this is why I didn't talk too much about backups. Backups is the thing that we do offer. This is going to be on-site backups, off-site physical backups, and also cloud-based backups, meaning that you're covered from all angles. Let's say somebody does go onto your website and you're simply just keeping backups on there. They can, of course, ruin that. Whereas if you have off-site backups, cloud-based backups, you can pretty much bring it back at any point. Using SeekaHost as well, you're going to find that we do this very regularly, in terms of if something does happen, you probably won't even notice the difference between when it has happened and not, because our backups are taken regularly. We can go back to a nice safe one and reinstate it from there, leaving you with a lot of peace of mind, especially if you've got quite a large website, you're selling stuff online, you don't really have the time for your website to go down at all. You need it to be up. Next up, WordPress website optimization. Of course, anybody wants their site to be fast, they need it to be optimized. This can be anything from your images, the cache on the page. You're going to be saving disk space as well on your actual hosting, your WordPress hosting. Of course, this will allow for stuff like more pictures, more content to go on there without actually weighing your site down. We can set you up with a one-time, optimization, go through everything, optimize it, or we can also set you up going forward, stuff like, automatic image optimization things, and, to basically keep your website running well for the long term. Obviously, Fernando, you know how you need to keep this optimized at all times, don't you? You can't have a really slow running site. And it's not really going to do well for your blog or your business.
Speed really matters, for especially when it comes to SEO. And if people build their website using different WordPress themes, haven't looked up to like speed optimization, the speed really matters for the rankings. So that's where an expert can come in and help it, because it's very important. Google mentioned about it and the stuff, and it's really, really important.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is one of the things that Google checks for. You're right there. Obviously, they see how long it takes to respond, because what they're looking for is how visitors are having, how do I put it? They're having a good time on your page, basically. Are they finding what they want? Are they finding it quickly? If your page is slow to load up, that's obviously not a good thing. They might look elsewhere. So you want to mitigate that pretty quickly. Next up, major indexing on search engines, stuff like Google, Bing, other indexes as well. If you're not too sure what indexing is, it's basically like putting your website in a catalog for the search engine to then preview, much like the picture there on the right, to then preview to the users that are searching for that. Obviously, websites can eventually, after some time, get indexed. However, actually getting yourself indexed straight away, getting the crawlers sent through your pages so they can check your pages, is really going to help not only rank, just get a load more traffic, especially when people are searching in your relevance, for you to actually get suggested to them. As you can see, you're going to get shown in more search results. You're also going to get improvement suggestions. Something that you do get from indexing is a constant sort of back and forth of what's going good and what's not going good. Have you got any user mobile non-compatibility? And like, let's say Google Index will literally email you to say there's been a problem on here, check this page, text is too small. So stuff like that is actually super valuable information. It means that you are being told straight away something could be improved. If you can improve it, it's obviously going to be better. And if they can see you can improve it as well, it means they're going to be sending more people your way, because that's the way they want it to run, really. And of course, you're going to be found easier on search engines because, again, like the picture, they're going to be crawling your pages, they're going to be analyzing your content, store that in the index. And then obviously when people are searching for certain things, depending on the ranking, algorithms, etc., you might get shown up in the search results. So super important, and it's not something that everybody does. However, we're here to do it for you. Uptime monitoring, of course, you want yourself to be online. You don't want to have, you don't want to find out a week later that actually your website's been down for 3 or 4 days. Again, lost business, could have lost money if you got an online shop. If you got a blog, you might be making online money through stuff like AdSense and stuff, affiliates, and you've realized that for the past week, you've made absolutely nothing because your site's been down. You didn't actually have time to check. This is something that SeekaHost does really well, uptime monitoring, making sure everything is working. We're also going to be identifying any problems if it's not. And of course, we do suggest actually coming over to SeekaHost in the first place and grabbing your domain, getting your hosting, because then you're going to get reliable hosting that, realistically doesn't go down. And yeah, that's a really big part of it. So obviously some hosts might offer you some really good packages, but if the site goes down, if it's not able to, like load up when too much traffic is on there, that's also not good for your site. All right, let's go to dedicated developer. So obviously, this can come in many ways. Dedicated developers can do anything from come in, sort out any plugin issues, develop pages, develop the whole website, corrections, improvements. We deal with a whole different amount of, different things here, and pretty much anything that you might want for your website, especially in terms of improvements. Because obviously we do know a lot of people have had a website for a while. Maybe they lost contact with the developer. Maybe they're just not sure what to do, how to improve it. That's where we come in and we can do all the hard work for you. Simply, we work with you. You tell us your plan.
Especially the custom development, right? So a lot of people actually, I know when people are starting out with a small blog and the stuff, they want to keep it cheap. They will buy a theme from WordPress, theme places like Theme Forest. But I try to tell you, even when you buy a theme, if you do not install it right way and if you use those images, these are being used on many other websites, which is a very fundamental, and it's a disaster, right? Because it's like using this duplicate content. So this is why a developer can help with you, maybe to custom build your website that we provide from SeekaHost. And the other thing is, if you had already built your site on WordPress and you never paid attention for those images and the stuff when you're buying a theme, we will rectify them. We will pick those themes, images, download it and redo it and put them up, because then your site at least get cleaned up and good to go. Because if not, if you're looking at to rank on especially like Google and channels, it's not a good way, for people, majority these days, to cut the cost, will try to buy a theme from places like Theme Forest and any other WordPress themes, and it's not the right practice. And the other thing is, even if you build a website with a web developer, if you do not get the right developers to build it, and if they do not name the images right and do that on-page SEO elements right, your website is not going to perform. So this is why a developer from SeekaHost can help you, which is one of the core parts we provide. You can get for as part of the WordPress site development and maintenance, and it's really important. If your business is really gonna be the front facing of your business, like website is going to be the front line of your business, you have to really think about giving your best thing to the website.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, the amount of times I've seen other people's websites and they have it looks nice from when you look at it, but realistically, when, like you said, with the images, they're copied images, they've got bad titles, no out data. And really what you also got to be thinking about is how your website is read by search engines, because it might visually look very nice, but they're reading everything else. They're reading the metadata, they're reading the alt text, they're reading your headings, they're looking for keywords. So yeah, a lot of technical stuff going on, which you've got to cover as well. Right. From that, e-commerce setup and configuration. Online shops are extremely, what's the word now? Obviously, they've been used a lot lately. everything that's been going on, stuff is moving online. It's actually quite easy to sell online. A lot of people have found these days. And e-commerce shops can be quite difficult to set up in certain ways. Obviously, you know, there's a ton of tutorials. However, these tutorials aren't always tailored to what you need. Sometimes you need something extremely specific. You want it to look unique. You don't want it to look like other people's, because obviously everybody has followed the same tutorials. And that's where we can come in. We can either do improvements to your existing e-commerce store. We can create your complete e-commerce store from scratch. And we're talking about anything from a small merch store, if you're a YouTube content creator or something like that, to like, you know, a larger wholesale business. Included with that, you know, variations, subscriptions, point rewards for how much you spend on your shop, you know, so you can get something back for spending, or your emails for when customers buy stuff, repeat emails, setting up MailPoet and all the mailing systems. Everything like that is taken care of. So you know that people are getting their packages, they're getting their emails through. Any refund requests, anything like that are all going well. And basically all the e-commerce configuration can be done by us, saving you a ton of time, especially if you want your site to behave uniquely, especially if it's not just a simple site with just, you know, a few products that you just buy and sell as it is. If you want to add different variations, stuff like that, that's where we come in. We can set that all up for you. You can have a really, really good looking e-commerce store for a lot cheaper than you probably can imagine. Plugin configuration. This obviously can really vary. So obviously you can get some small plugins. You can also get plugins that take hours to configure. However, we got your back here in terms of if you want to set up a plugin, you're not sure how to do it, we can do that for you. We can help with the plugin's performance. Sometimes they've not been set up well. They might be not working, they might be working against another plugin, and you got to integrate them really well. We can also suggest you other better plugins. Sometimes you might just not be using the one that suits you. We can then help set that up for you and really get your WordPress site going, you know, to the best of its ability. Content writing. If you are, you know, you're looking for more content basically on your site, everybody knows, you know, the more content you have, the more you rank. That is something that we are able to solve for you here. We can help rank higher with the blog posts that we're making. They're going to be long, valuable content. We're going to be writing about your specific niche, and we can really help grow your site that way too. On-site SEO, which we have mentioned a few times, sort of with a few of the other subjects here, obviously, like Fernando mentioned earlier, there's a lot of things behind all the visuals that you need to be taking care of as well.
Very important, you know. On-site SEO is one of the most fundamental things. A lot of people, web developers, even don't know this, and we get a lot of clients even at ClickDo, and the site is not like years old, but not ranking or anything. So because that's why, because on-page SEO is to be done properly, fixing plugins, internal linking, content, the keywords and proper places, images, name, all those things. So this is an important aspect that we cover and we provide.
Absolutely, because, you know, you want to show up in search results. You want to show up when people are searching in your niche. And of course, like you can see on the picture there, increasing traffic to blogs. It's just generally will be increasing traffic. And of course, if you do sell stuff, it'll be increasing sales. And that's it in terms of that. Let me just go back to this screen. So yeah, that's a nice run through pretty much all of this. Well, not pretty much all, but, you know, most of the major services that we do offer. Obviously, like I did say at the start, if you've got any other questions about other stuff that you might need on your website, just let us know. You know, leave it down in the comments. Literally send us an email over, and we can help you out.
Yes, as James explained, all those things are services which are very important to run a successful WordPress site, and we provide all those things at SeekaHost. And if you have any questions, you can get in touch with the live chat support, or else contact James and our other team members, and they can help you. Request a call back to audit your website and tell what needs to be done, and as well as urgency services like malware removals, hacking sites to be recovered. All those things we will be providing as a part of the WordPress management and maintenance services. And so you know where to go, what to do, and we look forward to helping you out with anything related to WordPress.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.